What was Jesus' central message? Jesus of Nazareth had a message for humanity. In the New Testament book of Acts, we read of his teaching to the people in the synagogue in Ephesus. He reminded them they are God's children and that they should not be evil. A message that is profound has not changed over the centuries. The first message that we have from Jesus is found in the book of Acts. There he gives a message of love and compassion to those who suffer because of religious disputes in Israel. It is important to note that he says to be treated compassionately by the Jews. They had not really been doing this prior to his arrival. It clearly meant this message to discourage intolerance. Jesus said that no man would ever be forced to give up his God. He did, however, distinguish the religious leaders of Israel and those who do not follow the Mosaic law. Because of his teachings, many people were saved from slavery. Some were even saved from death. He spoke out against cruelty and talked about how love is stronger than fear. These are all great lessons to learn and to practice today. Jesus was a Jew, and that would mean he understood what people were experiencing. He would not give in to fear or use it as an excuse. He would talk about how you can walk with dignity and with confidence. This is something we need to focus on because fear will not bring happiness. Jesus taught that happiness comes from faith and love. There are no quick fixes in this life. If you found Jesus, you would have to go through finding him yourself. This is where patience would come in. If you followed his teachings, lived according to the code he gave, and became a servant of one nation, region, or church, you could experience the good that Jesus offers us. There is more to the Jesus message than just telling people to get converted. He specifically instructed how to live differently. You would need to learn about the 10 Commandments, keeping laws that were given by Moses, and how to avoid evil. Many people have found happiness through following his teachings and living accordingly. The message of Jesus was not for a small group of people. It is for the world. It is for all of humanity. Everyone has to find their own way, but God will lead them to the right path. The central message of what was Jesus has to do with living your life according to the teachings of Jesus. Therefore, some of his life's teachings are important. He did not just teach the plain truth. He mixed with people in order to help them understand the deepest meaning of his teachings. If you truly want to follow Jesus and find eternal life, understanding who is Jesus will set you on the right path to getting there. If you want to walk in the footsteps of Jesus, then make sure you're following his teachings and doing things properly. When you follow who and what was Jesus, you would live the perfect life. Many people do not realize that they live life in the way they live now, even though they may have a previous life that is more colorful and more meaningful. You could live an exciting life filled with love and peace and still not understand what or who is Jesus. The first step you need to take is gaining a complete understanding of the message of Jesus. What was Jesus meant to do for humanity? There are many answers to this question. However, the most essential one would be to live by faith through the power of God. To fully understand the message of Jesus means to walk in the footsteps of Jesus. If you don't walk in his footsteps, then you simply don't walk in the path of God. That's why, when people talk about what was Jesus, they are referring to his teachings. They are talking about the man who had a message for people living in those times. He had a message for the time he lived in. All of that one person can't truly understand what Jesus meant to his fellow man until they gain a complete understanding of his life. I challenge you to go out and study a book written by a world-renowned Bible scholar. Then sit down and begin reading his findings.